Hey guys, Coach B coming to you from Fitness Inspiration Inc. in Memphis, Tennessee. And I'm coming to you guys with our week 9, it's Getting Your Mind Right Mental Rep video log. So for those of you who may just be tuning in, each week since the beginning of 2013, I am doing a mental rep exercise video because our theme here at Fitness Inspiration Inc. for this year is getting your mind right. And what do we mean? What we mean by that is that we are all about balance in focusing and investing our time and energy in conditioning and training our internal self as much as we do our external self. Internal meaning, spiritual, emotional, mental. Because what we know and what we've come to realize is that if it doesn't matter how much you work out in the gym or how much you work out on the exterior, if you're not nurturing and training and conditioning and working out that internal self, you're never going to get to where you want to be, and there's always going to be a gap between where you are today and where you hope to achieve. Alright? Well, we're all about closing that gap. So each week we're working together to focus on a new mental rep exercise to get us to that place. So this week, I'm going to follow up with the second part. Last week, we talked a little bit about the mental rep exercise of training like a champion. What does that mean? That meant bringing 100%, peak performance. It means going hard. And every time you show up, regardless of what your experience is, whether you're just getting started or you're running triathlons and doing Ironmans, you bring 100% effort because you can and because you feel better. And while working out and training like a champion may be a physical thing, it's a mental rep exercise because of the impact it has on your mood, your stress level, your sleep, and all that is involved with the internal self, okay? So last week we talked about focus, and this week I'm going to talk more about concentration, which is also a part of focus, all right? So get those pens out. Here we go. What does concentration require? Identifying what matters to you. Number 2, and then focusing on it. That's concentration. So today, the example I'll use, is going to be fitness and exercise, but you can apply these ideas and principles to any aspect of life. Your work performance as a parent, as a wife, husband, whatever it may be, okay? All right, so let's see. Concentration, 4 steps. Step number 1, observation. Step number 2, strategy. Step number 3, visual imagery or visualization. And then step number 4 is going to be trust. All right. So number 1, observation. At Fitness Inspiration Inc., observation. When you show up at a boot camp, this is what that step may look like, right? You're going to ask your things like, who all is in the room? How many people are here? Do I have 1 coach or 2 coach? Is there music playing in the background? What equipment's laid out? Is there anything written on the board as far as what exercises? What's the temperature? Because we may be outside. That's what we mean by observation, okay? Concentrating by observing your surroundings. Number 2, the strategy part of concentration. Form a strategy for the activity. So in boot camp, this may be considering the style of our boot camp session, right? If it's Monday, it's Mighty Mitochondria. If it's Tuesday, it's Tabata Tuesday. So part of your strategy is being aware and knowing what day it is and what style of boot camp. Well, what's required to perform optimally for that particular one? Because there's a difference between Tabata, Fartlek, Mighty Mito, and so that's going to help you in preparing. Well, what do you personally need to focus on when performing exercises in that particular boot camp, okay? So we're under strategy and we're understanding what is required to perform optimally. Okay, so maybe if you're thinking from a work standpoint, you have a presentation. Well, what do you need to do to perform optimally when you make that presentation, okay? Let's see. Focus on specifically, well, if I'm doing a squat, what do I need to know? If this is a kettlebell exercise, how do I need to perform that? So really having a strategy in your mindset of how you're going to perform and what you're going to need to do, okay? That was step 2. Step 3, we talked about visualizing and visual imagery. So visualize yourself performing the exercise or the presentation successfully and correctly. Close your eyes if you're comfortable or keep them open, but you visualize yourself, feel it going through that exercise or that presentation, that performance, world-class, top-notch level. And then Think about what it feels like to perform it that way. Get into it, guys, in tune. Not only see it, but feel it from the inside out. How does it feel when you perform that presentation or that activity at a world-class level? Probably pretty awesome. All right, now for the last point or last step in concentration. At this point, we had our, what do we have? Number one was observation. Strategy was number two. Visualization, and then trust, okay? So we've had our observation, we had our strategy, we've gone through that visualization, and now we're at the point in concentrating where all decisions have been made. There are no more thoughts to consider or question the task at hand, whether you're presenting or performing an exercise. The final step is trust, right? No more decisions to be made. We've done everything we need to concentrate, prepare. No more questions about the task at hand. We are completely focused, concentrated, and trusting. So the trust can be accomplished by using some simple cues to reaffirm that the preparation process has been completed and that you are prepared and able. So what is a cue? The example I have here is see it, feel it, trust it. You can use this or you can create your own. It's important that it really speaks to you, okay? But keep it simple. Cues, they need to be personalized and powerful. It needs to speak to you, it needs to stir your soul, it needs to get you fired up, all right? So just a quick recap. Concentration and how that's going to help us achieve peak performance, to be our best, and help us manage our energy, which we'll talk about in another week, because you only have a certain amount, and when we can focus it and concentrate it, we optimize it in every aspect of life, all right? So for concentration, step one, observation. Step two, strategy. Step three came that visualization, not only seeing, but feeling, knowing what it felt like to successfully perform the task at hand, whether it's doing an exercise or a presentation. And then the fourth, now that all decisions have been made, you've concentrated, you're focused, you've gone through that process, you know what to do to prepare and get you through the task at hand, so you are trusting. You know you've prepared, you are able, there are no more decisions to make. You trust and you remind yourself with your cue. See it, feel it, trust it. Get it done. All right, so thank you for tuning in to our week 9 Getting Your Mind Right Mental Rep video log. Becca Marino, Fitness Inspiration Inc. We will be back next week, but in the meantime, remember, 100% every day, all day, you can, and believe it, bring it, achieve it. See you next week.